Sophie Grégoire Trudeau is stepping into a new era of her life, and for the first time, she is speaking openly, calmly, and with remarkable honesty about the story the world has been waiting to hear. More than 2 years have passed since she and Justin Trudeau, Canada's once celebrated political power couple, ended their 18-year marriage. But the questions, the speculation, and the headlines have never stopped. And recently, those headlines have been bigger, louder, and more relentless than ever. Because the former Prime Minister of Canada is now in a relationship with one of the most famous women in the world, global pop superstar Katy Perry. It is a romance that instantly captured international attention, fueled curiosity, and led millions to wonder. How does Sophie feel about all of this? How does a woman who spent nearly 2 decades in the public eye side by side with one of the most recognized political figures of the 21st century process seeing her ex-husband move on so publicly, so quickly, and with someone so immensely famous? Now at last, we have her answer. Sophie Grégoire Trudeau, speaking on the Arlene is Alone podcast earlier this month, opened a window into her deeply personal emotional world, offering a response that surprised, moved, and impressed nearly everyone who listened. When asked how she remains composed watching headlines swirl around Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry's relationship, Sophie didn't dodge the question. She didn't hide behind diplomatic language or vague phrases. Instead, she revealed an honest truth that many people related to. "We're all human beings," she said, "and stuff affects us. It's normal to feel that way, but how you react is your decision. I choose to listen to the music instead of the noise." In that single sentence, Sophie communicated something profound, a blend of vulnerability and strength that instantly set her apart from the sensational narratives that tabloids often try to create. She didn't pretend she was unaffected. She didn't claim she was above emotion or pain. She simply said that she chooses clarity over chaos, intention over impulse, and peace over reaction. That calm, grounded response echoed across social media. People praised her emotional intelligence, her maturity, and her ability to speak about a difficult subject without bitterness or anger. But this interview went far deeper than just how she feels about Justin and Katy Perry. Sophie talked about triggers, the way certain public stories, photos, or comments can unexpectedly stir up old emotions. But rather than deny those moments, she explained how she has embraced them as part of her personal evolution. "The woman I want to become through this is my decision," she said. "Does it mean I don't have emotions, that I don't cry, scream, laugh? No, I let myself feel." Those words cut through the noise of public speculation like a blade of truth. They reminded people that behind political titles, behind celebrity status, behind all the polished photos and official statements, there is a human being navigating the same emotional storms that anyone else might face. And yet, despite all the emotion, Sophie made something very clear. She is not driven by resentment. She is not trapped in the past. She is not defined by the end of her marriage. Instead, she is guided by compassion, maturity, and a deep dedication to the family she and Justin built. "We have separate lives," she said, "but we have one family life. A conscious decision of our family is our greatest creation, and we're going to feed it together, even if we're on different life paths." That line struck a chord. It revealed that for Sophie, the story isn't about lost love or new love, it's about the enduring foundation she and Justin remain committed to. They are no longer a married couple, but they are still parenting partners, forever connected through their 3 children. Xavier, now 18, Ella Grace, 16, and Hadrian, 11. Since announcing their separation in 2023, Sophie and Justin have maintained a united front as co-parents. Their joint appearances, their shared custody routines, and their mutual respect have quietly demonstrated that even in the aftermath of a marriage ending, family can remain strong. Sophie emphasized this point on the podcast when she said, "I am definitely not a single mom. I have a partnership with a father who has such deep love and availability to his children." That was another moment listeners admired. Instead of fueling drama, she gave credit. Instead of casting herself as struggling alone, she highlighted the truth of their continued teamwork. But Sophie didn't shy away from acknowledging the challenges of their life together before the separation. She opened up about the emotional cost of politics, something few outsiders truly understand. "In politics, everything changes," she said. "You're very often gone from home. We raise these kids together, and we still try to build cohesion so the kids feel that cohesion." Her words painted a picture of a life shaped by constant travel, security schedules, political crises, media scrutiny, and intense public judgment. The kind of pressure that can slowly erode the emotional connection within a relationship. And that brings the story to the question millions have wondered since rumors first broke. What does Sophie think of Justin's new relationship with Katy Perry? The romance between the former Prime Minister and the Grammy-nominated pop star sparked headlines around the world. It began when the pair were spotted having dinner in Montreal in July 2025. Photos showed them laughing, leaning in, and appearing unusually comfortable for two people rumored to be meeting romantically for the first time. But it was their public appearance months later that confirmed everything. In October, Katy Perry celebrated her 41st birthday in Paris, and Justin Trudeau was by her side. Photos from the party, especially those taken aboard Perry's yacht, showed them close, smiling, and unmistakably connected. That moment launched an international media storm. And while the world reacted with surprise, confusion, excitement, and shock, many quietly wondered how Sophie must have felt. After all, she had spent nearly 2 decades living in the intense light of political and public attention. What must it be like to watch the father of your children become one half of one of the most unexpected celebrity couples of the decade? Now we know, Sophie has chosen acceptance. She has chosen emotional clarity. She has chosen peace. "You can stay in reactive mode," she said, "but you'll suffer the consequences. I'm learning that people meet life from where they are inside of them, and it's my choice how I let that affect my happiness." That sentence captures the heart of her transformation. She is no longer trying to control things she can't control. She's no longer trying to fight public narratives. She is no longer holding on to the emotional turbulence of the past. Instead, she is consciously choosing how to shape her future. She even spoke about emotional triggers, moments when the past resurfaces unexpectedly, and acknowledged them as opportunities for inner growth. Instead of running from pain, she sees it as a teacher. Instead of avoiding difficult feelings, she has learned to understand them. Throughout the interview, she never attacked, never blamed, never belittled. Her tone was thoughtful, introspective, and deeply grounded. She spoke as someone who has done the difficult work of healing, someone who has confronted her fears, her insecurities, her grief, and the emotional disorientation that often comes after a long marriage ends. Her reflections make it clear. Sophie Grégoire Trudeau is no longer trying to hold onto a story that has ended. She is writing a new one. She is reclaiming her identity outside of being the Prime Minister's spouse. She is rediscovering her voice, her passions, her emotional freedom. She is learning how to exist in the world without the constant weight of political expectations on her shoulders. She is building a future defined by authenticity, not appearances. And perhaps most importantly, she has found a way to extend grace, not only to Justin, but to herself. While Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry continue to make international headlines, Sophie appears untouched by the frenzy. She is moving forward. She is choosing to live in alignment with her values. She is creating peace in her own life, even as the world debates, speculates, and reacts. Her interview reminded people that divorce does not have to end in bitterness. New relationships do not have to ignite conflict, and emotional maturity can coexist with vulnerability. Sophie Grégoire Trudeau is proving that healing is possible, even under the glare of global attention. She is proving that a woman can reinvent herself without erasing her past. And she is proving, perhaps most importantly, that your story doesn't end when someone else begins a new one. Her final message resonated long after the podcast ended. "My emotions don't define me. How I choose to move through them does." In a world obsessed with drama, Sophie chose dignity. In a world obsessed with reactions, she chose reflection. and in a world obsessed with watching her next move, she chose to write it herself.